I was brought up in a very traditional Christian home. My parents were very strict on me. My dad was an elder in the church, and I was just about to be in junior high, and my uncle, he broke the news to me and my family that he was diagnosed with HIV. That was just kind of like a smack, like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, what is this? What's this bad thing that's happening to somebody that I love? And I had to pretty much watch my uncle like deteriorate and die of AIDS for the next 2 years. Everything that my parents had taught me was just like going down the drain. I had no idea that bad things could happen. When I found out that something bad is happening and it's happening to somebody so close to me, I just got really mad. I wasn't even prepared for something like this to have been a possibility of happening, because after that is when I really started just rebelling. I didn't believe that everything was good in the world, and so forget it. I don't even want to be a part of it. So I basically just turned my back on God. From there, it just continued to spiral down, and I got pregnant when I was 17. So I was pregnant my senior year, and I had to break the news to my parents, which that's never fun. They were really, surprisingly, after they kind of took some time to process, they were pretty supportive, and they really had my back, and they were there for me. And I ended up moving out of my parents' house by the time I was 18 with my baby, and I was able to graduate on time. And during my pregnancy, I was able to find a really good job. I was obviously on the right track. I was not doing any drugs or alcohol or anything during my pregnancy, so I was of sound mind at this point, finally, after years. Within weeks, I had a friend, an old high school friend, knock on my door at my new place, where I had no idea how she even found where I lived, and she needed a place to stay. Of course, I let her in. I let her have a place to stay, and that friend is who introduced me to the drugs that ended up ruining my life for a number of years. So I fell into the pit of hell. Like, it was really bad. I caught some drug charges, and so that put me in and out of jail a lot, and I wasn't getting my act together, so I would just keep going through these programs, or getting sober, and then falling back into it. So it was just a continuous roller coaster for so many years. And then ultimately I ended up in prison because of my drug abuse, my drug charges. There were so many times where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I would get on track, and I would do good, and I would get stable, and then like within months I would fall back into it again. So I got out of prison, and I did the same thing, that I went back to my old behavior, and then I immediately landed back in prison. And it was there that I kind of had like this aha moment, like, what the heck am I doing? This is not the life I want to live. Like, this is not where I want to be. I know I've said that a million times, but like, I really mean it this time. Got out of prison the second time, and I didn't go back to doing the things that I was doing. I made some changes, and I got a good job, and that's where I met Chris. Me and Chris, we were really good friends before we even started dating. And in fact, like, I confided in him about a lot of things about myself, and so when he wanted to date me, I was like, you're crazy, you're crazy. So he brought me to Diamond Canyon, and it was there that I started developing my relationship with God again, and that was really what I know was missing. It was just like that deep connection. Like, I remember going into church and just feeling like God was like, you're home, like, you're home, feeling like so good. And so I decided to rededicate my life back to God, and that was wonderful. I got baptized here at Diamond Canyon, and I remember shortly after I at church one day, and I remember like an announcement had been made that there needed, some help in the youth group and in the youth ministry. And I remember telling Chris, I was like, oh, that would be really cool. I would love to do that, But there's no way, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to let me, no. And I went over and I talked to Mike, and I just kind of told him my heart and, a little bit of where I was and, where I am and where I feel that God's calling me. And he let me come and check it out, and I never left. What really gets me is that, through everything that I've done, I'm still able to be used by God, and that is such a huge blessing for me. On top of everything else that God has given me, I've been clean for over 6 years. I have a beautiful family and 4 daughters, and going to law school, and it's all this crazy stuff that I'm like, is this really my life? It's crazy. My name is Andrea Franchino, and that was my story.